CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
A couple of off-duty police officers from the Victoria Department are being held as heroes tonight after going above and beyond for a woman who was being beaten. The officers were out for an early morning run when they heard a woman screaming for help near Pembroke Street and Dowler Place. The cops raced to her assistance, found her on the ground being kicked and beaten by a man with a gun. When the officers got close, the attacker turned the firearm on them. The woman's cries, however, had generated numerous 911 calls, and backup arrived. A 32-year-old Saanich man's been arrested. Turns out his weapon was a pellet gun. Family members of the border guard who was shot at the Peace Arch crossing say they are extremely grateful for the tremendous outpouring of support they've received. Laurie Bocock's family says they are all deeply moved by the cards and flowers and letters they have received. Bocock is doing well and is expected to make a full recovery after being shot in the neck by a 32-year-old man, Andrew Cruz of the U.S. RCMP say they do not believe that Bocock was the target. The gunman's uncle says the shooting was out of character for Cruz.
Just all dropped out of the blue. Like I said, it's just a total surprise. For this to protract to the point where he harmed somebody else is really completely beyond my comprehension.
The guard's family has extended its condolences to the family and friends of Cruz, who killed himself at the border after he shot Bocock. Cruz was living in Washington. His stepfather says he sent his mother a text before the shooting saying that he loved her and he was sorry. Former BC Attorney General Cash Heed is stoking the pot debate tonight in the hopes of sparking change before the next provincial election. Heed says he wants BC politicians to reconsider legalizing and taxing marijuana and to bring an end to prohibition of the drug. He is the latest to join a grassroots campaign, Stop the Violence BC, saying that criminalization of pot only fuels gang violence.
We, as citizens of Canada, need to stand up and advocate for contemporary drug policies. Let's end marijuana prohibition. Let's stop the violence that's taking place here in British Columbia. Let's end it now by ending prohibition.
Heed is not seeking re-election, but says he wants the pot debate to be a hot topic among those who are. Delegates to the recent Union of BC Municipalities convention voted in favor of decriminalization, but the Justice Minister says that doesn't mean that Ottawa is going to do it.
While the actual vote was successful, there was a very significant degree of discussion. There is not a consensus on this matter. So, you know, Cash is certainly entitled to speak out on issues. He's done that before. As a government, we're going to remain focused on those things that we can directly impact. And we have to remember that ultimately any changes are federal jurisdiction. And I'm hopeful that Cash will take up his conversation, certainly with the federal government as well.
Shirley Bond says she has bigger issues to deal with right now, including stopping violence in schools and bullying. Stop the Violence BC says Canada will continue to see a rise in gang violence due to the drug trade, and that could be mitigated by decriminalizing marijuana. A crowd of 20,000 school children packed Rogers Arena in Vancouver today for We Day.
Welcome to We Day!
And many of them in that crowd came from Vancouver Island to be inspired by the likes of Magic Johnson, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and X-Factor judge Demi Lovato. We Day aims to encourage young people to become active global citizens, to join a movement of social change in their own communities and around the world. Premier Christy Clark was also there to address the stadium full of young people, referring to the suicide of 15-year-old Amanda Todd and urging them never to be bystanders in the face of bullying. We Day is hosted by brothers Craig and Mark Kilberger, who are founders of Free the Children. The Nanaimo Airport is also preparing for disaster, practicing its own emergency response. Firefighters and police and paramedics hit the tarmac today for a live exercise simulating mid-flight emergencies such as crash landings.
Safety is a #1 job at the Nanaimo Airport, and we reach out to all the first responders in our community and work cooperatively with them to test the systems on an ongoing basis. The events that we've had historically at the Nanaimo Airport are small aircraft, but we always practice to make sure that we're fully aware and fully capable for any event coming forward.
The Nanaimo Airport runs this live exercise every 3 or 4 years, and it does a tabletop disaster drill annually. Newsweek is ending 80 years of print production and will move to an all-digital format. The last print edition of Newsweek will be December 31st. Newsweek says it's making the change because readers are getting more of their information on websites, tablets, and on smartphones. A 34-year-old BC man has been shot and killed in Honduras. Reports say Tim Valley was a conservation officer with the Department of Fisheries and was on vacation when he was robbed at gunpoint outside a bar Wednesday. Police say he was shot in the head. The Department of Foreign Affairs is not providing any other details. Staff and councillors at Nanaimo City Hall joined 600,000 people across the province today taking part in the great BC Shakeout. The alarm rang, everybody ducked, covered, and held on, including the Nanaimo Mayor John Rattan. The Shakeout is a giant earthquake drill across the province designed to remind us that we live in a high-risk zone and we need to be prepared.
Well, what we're trying to do is demonstrate how important it is for the public and our citizens to be aware that they need to be prepared for an earthquake. And our employees here were expected and did participate in a drill at 10:18 this morning. And with a few shortcomings, I think by and large it was a big success. I think it's important to keep people aware that this tragedy could happen at any time.
If you are inside when an earthquake strikes, you're advised to find cover, get under a desk or something, and wait until the tremors stop before venturing outside. In Nanaimo, there is a new medical unit that has opened that is dedicated to children who have been abused or neglected. The Vancouver Island Suspected Child Abuse and Neglect Program includes a doctor, a registered nurse, and a social worker. The team will work together serving young people who have experienced trauma, sexual, physical, and mental. The team leader says everyone should know how to recognize child abuse and should know how to prevent it.
As a team, we're actually very worried about this problem because we don't feel that it's recognized as much as it should be. And so we feel part of our mandate is actually to go and provide educational opportunities. We have had occurrences even within the short time that we've been functioning where a baby has presented to the emergency room, has had alarming findings but hasn't been recognized as possible abuse. And this is a significant problem because the next time they come back, they may come back in very dire straits.
The health clinic is located on Bowen Road in Nanaimo, but it offers services to the entire island. The VI Scan program replaces the Victoria-based Health Assessment and Resources Program for Children, which was suspended in 2009. BioEnergy facility in Nanaimo is opening its doors to you, hoping to encourage more of you to think twice before you send waste to the landfill. Take a look. It's the Cedar Road Nanaimo BioEnergy Center, and it launched its Fall Innovation Workshop today. The program introduces people to storage technology, which includes reusing waste to keep it from going into the landfill. The facility also has a double membrane biogas holder, which stores greenhouse gases.
Methane gas is what comes off of garbage when it decomposes. And from an environmental perspective, it's a greenhouse gas that's not a very good one. We've put forward a utilization concept where we come into small to medium-sized landfills and we put in electrical generation of clean energy where we use that gas and we put it out back into the utility. And this facility will provide enough electricity for 12 to 1,400 homes.
That's powering 12 to 1,400 homes on an hourly basis. The center says it's important that people learn to have a green thumb, not just for the environment, but for the economy as well. Well, one of the biggest search engines on the web is recognizing Duncan for being part of the digital economy. Google Canada presented Duncan's mayor with an E award today. There are just 5 cities across the country honored for having a web-savvy approach and a healthy population of online businesses. As part of the prize, Google sent a team of experts to give free one-on-one consultations with business.
We looked at a variety of factors. One of the most important ones was the percentage of businesses based on population who are using Google AdWords to advertise their business online and to find customers. So there's a high concentration of small businesses in Duncan that are using Google AdWords. We also looked at businesses who were coming online with our Get Your Business Online program, which was offering free websites and hosting for a year, and also businesses using Google Apps such as Gmail and Docs, and also YouTube as a marketing tool.
It is the first year that Google Canada has handed out the eTown Award.